Have you ever stopped to think why some people walk into a room and the world seems to bend around them, while others feel invisible, like they're watching life through a glass wall? Why, some ideas turn into empires, some dreams turn into reality, and some people stay stuck pressing the same button every day, hoping for a different result. What if I told you it's not luck, it's not talent, it's not even hard work alone? What if the real difference is that some people understand the code behind reality, and others don't even know it exists? Look around you right now. Your phone, your screen, the words you hear in your head. None of this is random. Every app you use, every game you play, every system you interact with runs on a set of invisible rules. Code. If you know the rules, you can change the game. If you don't, you're just a character inside it. So here's the real question. Are you playing reality, or is reality playing you? Most people wake up every morning and run the same script. Same thoughts, same fears, same habits, same excuses. They call it life. But what if it's just a loopy? A program running in the background of their mind, deciding what they notice, what they avoid, what they believe is possible. Think about it. Who taught you what success looks like? Who decided what's realistic for you? Who planted the idea of what you deserve? Chances are you didn't choose those beliefs. You downloaded them from your family, from school, from social media, from culture, from people who were just as confused as you are now. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The mind doesn't care if a belief is true. It only cares if it's repeated. Repeat something long enough, and it becomes your reality. That's how the code installs itself. Let me tell you a story. There was a time when people believed the world was flat, not because they measured it, not because they tested it, but because everyone else believed it. The moment someone questioned that code, the entire world changed. Now, imagine how many flat earth beliefs are running your life right now. Beliefs about money, about relationships, about what you're capable of, about who you are allowed to become. Here's the part nobody wants to admit. Reality doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you expect. Expectations are like commands. Silent, invisible commands you send out every day. If you expect rejection, you walk differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. And the world reflects that back to you, not because it's cruel, but because it's consistent. Think about the last time you walked into a situation already convinced it wouldn't work. How did you show up? Did you lean in? Or did you hold back? Did you speak with certainty? Or did you hedge every word? You didn't just predict the outcome. You programmed it. The most powerful people in the world understand this at a level most people never reach. Athletes visualize winning before they step onto the field. Entrepreneurs talk about success before it exists. Leaders speak with certainty before they have proof. To the outside world, it looks like confidence. On the inside, it's something else. It's a deep understanding that the mind is not a mirror of reality. It's a filter, and whoever controls the filter controls the experience. Now let me ask you something uncomfortable. If your life is a reflection of your internal code, what does your current reality say about what you believe deep down? About what you think you deserve? About what you think is possible for someone like you? Because here's the thing, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your programming. You can set the biggest dreams in the world. But if the code running underneath says, I'm not enough, it's too risky. People like me don't win. Then guess what happens when you get close? You hesitate, you self-sabotage. You pull back, not consciously, automatically, like a system protecting itself from a perceived threat. So how do you hack it? How do you rewrite the code? The first step is awareness. You can't change a program you don't know is running. Start paying attention to the voice in your head, the one that comments on everything, the one that judges, the one that predicts. That voice is your operating system. And most of the time, it's running on outdated software. When you think about trying something new, what's the first response? Is it curiosity or is it fear dressed up as logic? When you see someone succeed, do you feel inspired? Or do you feel a subtle push to explain why their success doesn't apply to you? Those reactions aren't random. They're lines of code. Here's a simple experiment. For the next week, treat your thoughts like notifications. Don't argue with them. Don't believe them. Just observe them. Notice how often your mind jumps to the worst-case scenario. Notice how often it tries to keep you small, safe, and predictable. The mind's primary job is not to make you successful. It's to keep you alive. And in the modern world, safe often means stuck. Now let's talk about something deeper. Identity. Because this is where the real hack lives. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you think you are. If you see yourself as someone who struggles, you will find ways to struggle. If you see yourself as someone who overcomes, you will find ways to overcome. Not because the world changes, but because your choices do. Think about the word I am. Every time you say it, you're writing a line of code. I am bad with money. I am shy. I am unlucky in love. Those aren't descriptions. They're declarations. And once you declare something as your identity, your brain will work overtime to prove it true. The opposite is also powerful. When someone decides, at a deep level, I am the kind of person who figures things out, suddenly obstacles become puzzles instead of walls. When someone decides, I am someone who attracts opportunities, they start noticing doors they used to walk past. This isn't magic. It's attention. Your brain deletes most of reality. It has to. There's too much information, so it keeps what it thinks is relevant to who you believe you are. Change who you believe you are, and you change what you see. Let me give you a real-world example. Two people walk down the same street. One is looking for problems. The other is looking for opportunities. The first one notices the broken sidewalk, the closed stores, the people who look suspicious. The second one notices the new cafe, the help wanted sign, the person who looks like they might be a future connection. Same street, different worlds. So here's the next question. Who taught you who you are? Was it a moment? A teacher? A parent? A failure? A comment that stuck longer than it should have? Most identities are formed by accidents, but they don't have to stay that way. Now, let's talk about something that makes people uncomfortable. Responsibility. Because the moment you realize you can rewrite the code, you also realize you can't blame the program anymore. It is easier to say that just how I am, than to say this is something I learned and I can unlearn it. But here's the paradox. The moment you take responsibility, you'll also take power. You stop waiting for the world to change, and you start changing how you show up in it. Let's go even deeper. Reality rewards clarity. Vague desires create vague results. I want to be successful is not a command. It's a wish. The brain doesn't know what to do with it. but I am building a business that generates this much, helps these people, and gives me this kind of life is a blueprint. The more specific the code, the more precise the output. This is why people who write their goals down are statistically more likely to achieve them. It's not because of the paper. It's because they're turning a vague feeling into a clear instruction. Now think about this. How clear are you, really, about what you want? Not what you think you should want. Not what looks good on social media, but what actually matters to you. If you can't describe it in detail, how can you expect your mind to move you toward it? Let's talk about environment, because this is one of the most underrated hacks in the system. Your surroundings are constantly editing your code. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, the conversations you repeat, they all reinforce a certain version of you. Show me your 5 closest friends, and I can predict your future. Not because of destiny, but because of influence. If everyone around you talks about problems, you'll become an expert in problems. If everyone around you talks about solutions, you'll start thinking in solutions. This is why some people seem to change overnight when they enter a new environment. New city, new job, new social circle. It's not the place, it's the code being updated. So here's a powerful question. If you wanted to become the next version of yourself, where would that person hang out? What would they read? What would they listen to? What kind of conversations would they be part of? Now, let's address the biggest myth of all. That hacking reality means controlling everything. It doesn't. It means controlling your response. You can't always choose what happens, but you can always choose what it means. 2 people can fail at the same thing. One says, "This proves I'm not cut out for this." The other says, "This shows me exactly what I need to improve." Same event, different code, different future. This is why some people turn setbacks into stories of defeat, and others turn them into origin stories. The world doesn't label your experiences. You do. Let's bring this back to you, right now. Watching this. What's one area of your life that feels stuck? Money, relationships, confidence, direction. Ask yourself this. What am I consistently expecting in this area? Not what I hope for, what I actually expect. Because expectations are quiet. They don't announce themselves. They show up in tone, in posture, in the choices you make when no one is watching. Here's a practical hack. Start acting as if the version of you who has figured this out already exists. Not in a fake way, in a curious way. Ask, what would that version of me do in this situation? Over time, the line between who you are and who you're becoming starts to blur. Now let's talk about time, because this is another layer of the code most people don't see. People overestimate what they can do in a day and underestimate what they can do in a year. Small actions, repeated, compound into massive results. This is how habits become identity. You don't become confident by making one bold move. You become confident by keeping small promises to yourself over and over again. You don't become successful by one lucky break. You become successful by showing up on days when no one is clapping. This is where most people quit. Not because it's hard, but because it's boring. The mind loves drama. The code runs on consistency. So let me ask you something real. What's one small action you could take today that your future self would thank you for? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Now, let's talk about fear. Because fear is not a stop sign. It's a signal. It shows up right before growth. The problem is, most people treat it like a warning to turn back. The people who hack reality treat it like a sign they're going in the right direction. Think about every major change in your life. New job, new relationship, new decision. Was it comfortable or was it uncomfortable? Growth doesn't feel like safety. It feels like uncertainty. So here's a reframe. The next time you feel fear, instead of asking, "What if this goes wrong?" ask, "What if this goes right?" Let's talk about something even deeper: meaning. Because at the core of every human is a need to feel like what they're doing matters. When you connect your actions to something bigger than you, motivation stops being something you have to force. It becomes something that pulls you forward. This is why people burn out chasing goals that aren't theirs. Money without meaning feels empty. Success without purpose feels hollow. The real hack is aligning what you want with why you want it. Now, here's the part that separates the watchers from the doers. Knowledge is not power. Action is. You can watch videos like this all day. You can read books. You can nod along. But until you change something in your real life, the code stays the same. So let's make this practical. Write this down. What is one belief about yourself that, if it changed, would change everything else? Just one. Maybe it's I'm not good enough. Maybe it's I always fail. Maybe it's I don't deserve more. Now ask, where did this come from? Was it a fact, or was it a moment that you turned into a rule? Here's the truth. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the labels you were given. You are the one running the system. And that brings us to the final question. If reality is a code, and you have the ability to rewrite parts of it, what are you going to change first? Your habits, your environment, your self-talk, your goals, your standards. Because here's what nobody tells you. The moment you start changing, the world around you will react. Some people will support you. Some people will resist. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your new code disrupts the old system. This is where most people retreat. They choose comfort over growth, familiarity over potential. Don't be most people. Let this be the moment you stop running the default program. Let this be the moment you decide to become intentional about who you are becoming. So I'll leave you with this. If someone were watching the choices you make every day, would they be able to tell what kind of future you're coding? If this message sparked something in you, don't let it fade into just another video you watched. Take one action. Write one goal. Change one habit. Have one uncomfortable conversation. Because reality doesn't change for people who wait. It changes for people who decide. And if you're ready to keep learning how to think differently, how to see the patterns others miss, and how to build a life that feels like it's actually yours, then you already know what to do. Stay here, subscribe, and keep hacking the code.